Ladies and gentlemen, this is Metagetics and welcome back to another discussion on Dragon Ball Super. This time we'll be discussing what Universe 7's team should have been. And this is of course a hypothetical on the certain circumstances, and I'll go over those details later on in the video. Now, what we're going to do first is go over what the team is currently. And our current team for the Universe 7 Tournament of Power is going to be Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Frieza, Android 17, Android 18, Krillin, Piccolo, Tien, and Master Roshi. Now, what we're going to go forward now is go on some hypotheticals and other situations that could have happened if we didn't have other things pop up. Now, the first thing I want to mention is here's what I think, my opinion, on what Universe 7's team should have been. And if there's any kind of discrepancies, I'll go over the details as to what could have solved those problems. Of course, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, those guys are on. Frieza, and I would say Majin Buu would be in there. I know he fell asleep for a couple months, but they had plenty of time. Throw Buu in the hyperbolic time chamber, or room of spirit time, and then a couple hours go by, and he'd be back up and fully rested. So he could have replaced Master Roshi, I think. And then after Buu, we'd say Android 17, Piccolo, Krillin, Android 18, and that would have been our team. So basically one swap out, and that would have been Master Roshi for Majin Buu, and swap Tien out for Future Trunks. I know time travel is kind of a no-no, but we have two Omni Kings, and one Omni King is from the future alternate timeline, so why not have a representative from his timeline? And I think that would have been okay if Goku would have asked him, because he gets away with everything with Omni King, so why not try? So hypothetically, that would have been my super team. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Future Trunks, Frieza, Buu, 17, 18, Krillin, and Piccolo. I think that team would have stood a better chance to win in the Tournament of Power. Now, some honorable mentions on basically other people that would have been able to compete if said team I mentioned wasn't available, or if someone else just became out of the picture. Our honorable mentions are Master Roshi, Tien, Yamcha. I know, Yamcha, but better than showing up with 9 people. Tarble. That's one thing that I wanted to bring up. Vegeta's younger brother. It's not really known if he's considered, and I say in air quotes, canon or not, because it was a special that Tarble made his debut, and the special doesn't exactly contradict any events in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, but it's also not been confirmed if he exists or not. I can't remember if he was mentioned before, but I believe he was. But don't quote me on that. And of course, Kid Trunks. I don't consider Goten a competitor because he's just an experience. I think Trunks has a better grasp on the whole situation if he knew about it. With him being a year older, he is a little stronger. Goten, I guess, you can include him. And New Namek's been a thing since the end of the Frieza saga. I can't imagine there isn't at least a couple warriors that are on a higher tier level than Master Roshi. I feel like Master Roshi and Tien are the two weakest characters on the team. And with Namekians being what they are, I mean, you figure they had to have something out there. And the entire universe and Whis and Beerus give the power to Goku to choose their team, yet there's only representatives from Earth, essentially. I just think that if they did a broader search and Supreme Kai wasn't such a smuck at his job, he would have been able to find someone else stronger that could have worked with the team, because just the odds of them not having someone else stronger out there than Master Roshi. Going on, if you include Resurrections, they could have added Cell to the team, King Cold, or even Android 16. I know Android 16 is not technically a human being, or he wasn't technically dead because he was artificial, so heck, gather Dragon Balls, make a wish, and have Android 16 reassembled, since he wasn't actually a living being that shouldn't be outside the Dragon's, abilities. So, of course, Cell, King Cold, Android 16, those guys could have been brought onto the team. I think that King Cold was in his second form when Trunks killed him. Now, of course, he's a lot weaker than most of the fighters, but him in his second form, if that was the situation, and he goes to his final form, would be significantly stronger than Master Roshi, Tien, and probably a couple others. That's just my opinion, but I think he would have been a pretty good asset. And plus, with Frieza being on the team, I think King Cold would have helped balance him out and give Frieza somebody to work with that he doesn't absolutely despise. So I think that would have been all right, because it'd been like a two-man cell outside of the original, 8 on the team that are kind of working together. Since Frieza's kind of a lone wolf, I figured he would have worked with his father, or at least been more inclined to. If you bring in the whole aspect of non-canon characters, here's where a lot of the fan favorites kind of come into effect. Paikuhan or Paikon, he could have been a contender. Olibu, if you want to include him. Who else? Broly, of course. But if you really scale Broly up, he would have been as strong maybe as around Super Saiyan 2. Which, that's competitive if you compare to other people. Tapion, thought he would have been a good fan favorite. Bojack would have been a contender because he was basically around Super Saiyan 2 Gohan level in the movie. Cooler would have been another cool addition. So if you imagine Cooler, King Cold, and Frieza working together, that would have been even better. On top of that, they could have given some pointers on Cooler training. Frieza could have helped them out and maybe unlock some more power. I'm not saying like a golden form, but something. I guess you include Metacooler because technically that was his final form they was seen in, according to the movies. Someone else that could have been a contender is, I guess, Paragus. That's really grasping at straws because he was weak as shit. Excuse my language. That's basically all the characters I could think of. If you guys can think of anybody else, please go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. If I don't run my words together here. But yeah, if you guys like what you heard, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe if you wouldn't mind. That'd be a great help, a great motivation. And yeah, comment down below. I'll interact with everybody else that comments back. And I'd love to hear from you guys. And of course, catch me over on Twitter at Metagetics. I'll leave a link in the description below to my channel and to my page. And if you guys want to hear something else in the future, any other topics you want me to cover, definitely, like I said, leave a comment down below. Check out my other videos, and thank you for all the support. You guys don't know how much it means to me. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.